Here is a place. Even at its nadir, the city retained grandeur and suspense, like a stage between acts. By the mid-90s, a tenuous renaissance was taking form, though some would have called it bare-bones accommodation, with healthcare, banking, and other services beginning to fill the post-industrial void. Former mill spaces were converted into restaurants and galleries. Unemployment fell, though the population continued to dwindle and downtown remained stagnant. Of the families who stayed, half of those with children under 5 lived below the poverty level. Such was the situation in February 2001 when the first Somali refugees came north from Portland, 40 miles away, where housing was short. Maine was cold and homogeneous, the second widest state in the nation, also the oldest, but it offered safety and access to services and a lower cost of living than large cities where the federal government had first resettled the refugees. Moving to the extreme northeast was their choice. A gutsy one, considering that photos shared through social media showed snow banked 4 feet high. By the beginning of 2003, more than 1,400 newcomers had come to Lewiston. They settled into triple and quadruple deckers on Spruce and Birch and Pine, the Tree Streets neighborhood off Kennedy Park. When I came north that spring to visit friends, women in hijabs were shepherding kids down streets that, for years, had been all but empty. It was an incongruous, astonishing sight. On Lisbon, a few closed stores had reopened under Somali ownership. I went into one, bought cardamom, wondered at signs offering translation and money wiring services, and, back out on the sidewalk, at the palpable energy. In a place where businesses rarely stayed open after 5 p.m., these were still lit at 8:30. Refugees kept coming. People I knew in Lewiston responded to the changes in accordance with their nature, curious or suspicious, or holding off on judgment. In 2005, The New Yorker called what was happening in Lewiston a large-scale social experiment, a blunt but not inaccurate assessment. There were, after all, now several thousand African Muslims in an overwhelmingly white town not known as a liberal outpost. Pickups flying American flags regularly drove down Lisbon Street, and stories in the local Sun Journal about the newcomers triggered online rants. Yet, I was seeing a slow, quiet shift. Somalis stocking shelves at the supermarket, white and black kids sitting together at the library, white people buying goat meat on Lisbon. A high school acquaintance who had a daughter in kindergarten with Somali children was happy about the new diversity. "I only knew white kids when I was growing up," he said. After one of the kindergartners' family came home to find "Get Out" scrawled on their apartment building, longtime residents helped paint over it. They worked late into the night, he said, so the message would be gone when kids left for school in the morning. If there was a hostile undercurrent, and if some complained Somalis consumed the city's resources, other Lewistonians were reaching out and seeking accord. In 2006, a man rolled a pig's head through the doorway of a mosque. Residents rallied around the city's Muslims. The deed was denounced, the offender criminally charged, but the act spoke to a bitterness that remains. I've been reporting on Lewiston's transformation for more than a decade. Early on, the narrative I embraced was of passive refugee victims. The trauma of wars they left Africa to escape, the loss of loved ones, sexual assault, splintered families, and years of privation means that most newcomers do bear heartache. But over time, I came to see that they were not passive. Their resilience moved and inspired me. One early acquaintance, Fatuma Hussein, founded United Somali Women of Maine to promote gender equality. She'd come to the United States at 13 from a Somali refugee camp. The first line in my Lewiston notebook was hers. "We are making new lives here." The new lives were complex.